Oh, you got a mic.
We got one mic. You want to set one up?
So you can set, if you've got speakers, you can set them on over here.
Where is our speaker? There it is right there.
It's right here.
Okay, we can just do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, is that gonna be too loud for you?
Should be.
Okay.
There is a little.
Is it? What's that? Yeah, I'm gonna have to
Not your outside cheek voice.
Yeah, help me out.
He was pretty hoarse yesterday morning, though.
Okay. We're live.
Okay, Facebook up. Waiting on some others here. So let us know when you're ready. So Facebook Live's up and going. All right, is that with you as well?
We're
So-
ready to go? Yeah.
All right, so for folks on Facebook, we'll be up momentarily with an announcement on some evacuation zone boundary changes.
We'll be ready in like 30 seconds.
Okay.
We're starting.
Are we getting some feedback? Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
A little bit of buzzing.
There we
Oh,
go.
much better.
There we go.
Leave it to you.
I know.
Those are mine. I apologize. Hey guys. Well, they're not talking. Do a mic check real quick.
Mic check. 1, 2, 3.
Is that coming through?
1, 2, 3.
Yep, we're ready.
It says it's not coming through still. Oh. Could be on there. Sorry.
I'm getting in here.
Yeah.
Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3.
Okay, we should be good.
Ready?
All right, so thumbs up. Thumbs up. Really good. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Cody Rohrbach, Fire Chief for Spokane County Fire District 3. Wanted to provide an update on evacuation zone boundary changes for the Gray Road fire. So effective today at 3:30 p.m., the evacuation levels in and around the community of Medical Lake are changing in some areas. So wanted to walk through those areas on the map, and again, we will have maps of greater detail available for the public. They can go see these boundary changes through a lot of the social media sites. So that'll be on multiple sites. They'll be able to go through Spokane County Emergency Management social media pages, as well as Spokane County Fire District 3. They can go to the Northeast Washington Fire Information page, as well as NCWeb. So all the sources that folks are going out to use for information on those boundary changes, that information is being pushed simultaneously with the updates. So it should be there within minutes if it's not there already. So in general terms, this will be for areas on the northern side of the fire. So that includes areas north of West Fancher Road, just west of the city of Medical Lake, north of West Fancher Road going to a level 1. So downgrading from a level 3 to a level 1. So what that means is that there's still some risk in that area, and it's really be ready, but we are going to let people back into those areas. So pleased to report that. So from West Fancher Road, moving east towards the city of Medical Lake, up to the primary line of demarcation, there will be Campbell Street. Everything north of Campbell going to be downgraded to a level 1 for city of Medical Lake. So that should get a good portion of the community back into Medical Lake. So we wanted to say thank you for the community's patience while we worked on that. Of course, our responders, fire, law enforcement, and of course the utility companies, Public Works, doing some amazing work to try and make that happen as quickly as possible. So effective 3:30 p.m. today, going to a level in the city of Medical Lake, and we'll have all the maps available on the social media sites. Sheriff.
Thank you, Chief. And to echo what the Chief said, we're ecstatic that we've been able to let a large portion of the displaced residents of Medical Lake back into their homes. We would ask that people pay particular attention to where the evacuation zones are. We will be posting law enforcement and security details at areas where people might try to ingress into the level 3 evacuation zones. I will tell you, it is now more important than ever for people to honor the level 3 evacuation zones, because the places that are still at level 3 are close to the population centers in Medical Lake, and it's more important than ever as people move into those areas that they stay out of the level 3 evacuation zones. It's just not safe for the public to be there. So please pay particular attention to where those level 3 areas still exist and honor them. The fire service has been doing a great job the last 3 days since the beginning of this incident, and they continue to do so. But thankful to a lot of work from them and from a lot of utility workers, we're able to let people back inside to Medical Lake. You're also going to hear from Mayor Cooper from Medical Lake here in a second, and also our Department of Emergency Management Deputy Director Chandra Fox. We're going to talk about some of the things we need the public to do going forward so we can start dealing with kind of the fallout from a disaster of this scale. I want to thank the public for how generous they have been with each other. We would not have been able to get through this thus far without people being kind to each other and doing what's best. So still a lot of work to do. There's still a lot of danger, but I'm very proud of what Spokane County has done and the cooperation of all the agencies involved in this from around the state. So with that, Mayor Cooper.
Thank you. Thank you, Sheriff. Mayor Terry Cooper, City of Medical Lake. So what do I want to say to my citizens? Thanks for your patience. You've done overall an incredible job of waiting, and I know it's been difficult. So we are moving now from the sprint. I want to thank all of the first responders all across the nation. We've had help coming in. They're still coming in, coordinating that through incident command and fire, and it's just the outpouring of help from the state level and the national level has just been incredible. I'm so grateful, so thankful. So I came this morning to the briefing and I said what we have is 5,000 displaced people, and it's straining everything, including the 5,000 people. This opens up most of the city. So we want you to come back. This is my ask. Can you please be not so hasty? Let's be courteous. Let's be kind. Let this be a, when you went to the first grade, they said, everyone get in line and wait your turn, and we're all going to get to lunch, right? So it's that, the pace and just being kind to one another, and let's just move back into your homes. And we're glad that you're able to come back. So we're going to be coordinating some support systems with the county. City Hall is open, and we will be also disseminating information on a public meeting here within the next day or two, probably tomorrow. But anyway, so stay close and tuned to the news and also those websites, and we'll be pushing that information out to you as quickly as we can. So I just want to say we're just so proud of everybody coming together and agreeing that yes, we can come in. Now those folks that are coming in on that Campbell Street line, you're just across the street from where there's active fire work being done. Vista's great, DNR's great, fire, our maintenance people, everybody are working together. It's still a be ready. So come in, but be ready, please, because it could change. You know how weather is, and that's how we got here. So come back, but be ready. City Hall is open. We will have some temporary services there at City Hall. If you come into City and you think, oh, I thought my place was open and it's not, you can come to City Hall. But of course, the Red Cross, and Chandra will tell you more about that, but the Red Cross is open 24/7, and the incident command, go through 911 are really your main points still. And then we'll be standing up some services here within the next couple days, working with nonprofits, so stay tuned. A lot's going to be changing over the next couple days. Chandra.
Thank you, Mayor. So I just want to echo what the mayor and Sheriff Knowles have said. While we're very, very happy that a limited number of folks can get back into their homes, this really is just the beginning of the recovery process. And one of the key pieces that we need from folks to really facilitate our recovery activities is making sure that we have your information. And you can do that by making sure that you are registered with the Red Cross. It doesn't mean that you had to be in the shelter or utilizing shelter services. We just really need you to connect with Red Cross and get registered, because the Red Cross functions as our case managers, and they will help you work through the recovery process. So that's what's happening immediately. What our collection of your information does is it supports our case that we are building to make to the federal government to get FEMA involved. At this point, we do not have, this is not a presidentially declared disaster, it is a state proclaimed emergency. And so the difference there is that we have state resources available, and those will be coming through DSHS, Department of Commerce. There's a number of state programs that can provide resources and aid, and we will be bringing those resources to the county just as soon as we can get them here. But the key piece is that we need your information. We need to have that the damage assessments done and all of your information so that we can really, really make a strong case to FEMA and the federal government to get us that presidential declaration.
Thank you. Any questions from the media?
Would you be able to elaborate a bit more on the timeline of the evacuations being lifted?
Effective immediately.
30 p.m.
I know a lot of utility work is being done. We talked a little bit about that this morning. Gas leaks trying to be repaired and power lines as well. What's the progress of that? What does that restoration process look like for the people still waiting to get back to medical lake?
I can answer that, I guess. So what that looks like is they're working neighborhood by neighborhood. They're in there with fire. Fire's working on the ground. It's smoldering. They're making sure the integrity of the trees, taking down those trees that might compromise the power lines, but they're putting in poles, standing up lines. The houses that are standing, they're getting them connected, getting those neighborhoods ready for folks to come back in. And so they've been working around the clock 24/7. They're staged just outside of the city. Both Inland Power and Avista have been working 24/7 since Friday when this started.
Do we know if any structures were lost in that north of Campbell area that's going back to level 1 today?
Yeah, so
I'll let you answer, Chief. Thank
we're
you.
still working on getting that final assessment with the other priorities related to suppression, and then getting these areas open. That will be forthcoming. We know there's a lot of interest from the community on that. We appreciate the patience there. Again, fire crews working around the clock with utility crews had just Avista alone, I think, had 80 people working from 10 different crews today, and then Inland has a large number of personnel there as well, and we're well north of 500 firefighters now on the incident, but just so much work to do related to suppressions. But I will say that one of the priorities is getting that accurate assessment, trying to get out some information specific to are these primary residences or these structures, and again, with some of the homes lost, primarily south. It is primarily south. The vast majority of homes lost are south of this level 1 opening. So we still need to confirm that for anything north, but primarily all the structures are south of Campbell in the city of Medical Lake.
Do we know about how many homes are in this soon-to-be level 1 area? Like how many people will be able to come back?
Are you able to approximate as far as the population of the city? It's the majority
So
of Medical Lake.
it's a majority of Medical Lake. Here's my guess, and it's just a guess. We have a population of 5,000. Looking at the map, I said I expect at least 4,000 people are going to be able to be rehomed back in their homes today. That would be my guess, but don't hold me to it.
So we would say it's significant, and
Yes.
so we are happy to get a good portion of the city of Medical Lake back in.
Yeah. Well, can I add one thing? For the folks coming back in, you will have all of your utilities are up and running. So you have water, power, sewer, all of those things. The grocery store's open, gas station's open, city hall's open. Restaurants are not open yet, but just so you know that we have those. I talked to Lakes Harvest Foods, and they have staffed up and they had deliveries in, so they knew we're anticipating coming upward. So everyone, you know, you should be able to get some groceries and gas and kind of get reestablished at home, and we're just so happy you're coming back.
Is there still a boil water order?
There is not. That was lifted yesterday, and our water reservoirs are fine. Please follow the medical and municipal code that you can only water at night, and we think that we can sustain that if everybody will. Don't come home and start watering everything full on during the day, but if you water at night, you're fine.
One other piece of information, and you may have noticed it when you were coming out here, we have fully opened Interstate 90 now. And so if the public wasn't aware of that, I-90 is back and fully open again, thanks to a lot of work from our fire crews and DOT.
Sheriff, can you also speak to the Brooks Road construction?
Right. Many people were aware that Brooks Road, which is one of the points of ingress into Medical Lake, has been closed for road construction for a large portion of the summer. It was opened up to traffic the day of the incident to allow people to leave. We will allow it to remain open today and tomorrow, but it will close again for road construction on Wednesday. Any other questions?
Do you know what the other road closures are looking like at this time too? Are there any major roads closed, or is it pretty much isolated with that at this time?
So we have now fully reopened Highway 902, and so that's something that has changed. And again, all of the major roads into Medical Lake will be open, allowing people to get in. There are going to be a few residential streets right on the perimeter and the edge of the level 3 where they will have road barricades, and we will also have law enforcement there not letting people into the affected areas for the time being.
Any general comments that you want people to know about this still being a working fire?
Well, and I think we have to reemphasize, and while we start talking about recovery, it's not that this fire isn't actively burning and there aren't areas and neighborhoods that aren't threatened. They are. It's just the weather has been such and the capability of the fire service has been such that we can let people back into these homes. I want to emphasize these level 3 areas are still very dangerous places to be. This fire is very active, and the weather can change, and this can all change again. It's just really active, both here and up at the Oregon Road fire. So the public still, please cooperate with us. Please cooperate with us.
And what I would add to that is none of our decisions are zero risk. And so there's always an inherent risk with a decision. So certainly there are hazardous areas within the fire itself right now, particularly those areas that are in the level 3. And so we're really trusting our community to respect that, to allow the firefighters, the utility companies to get that work done as quickly as possible so we can get folks who are still displaced back in there as soon as possible. But we understand there's a risk from not letting our community back in. We have community members that are displaced, and so there's a risk of not being able to go back to their homes. And so we try to weigh that with the risk from the incident itself, but we do feel the areas we've identified now that it's a lower risk, but we're keeping it at that level 1, that hey, be ready just in case the weather is improving. There's been a lot of the utility pieces that needed to happen are in place, and then the lines in those areas, a lot of good mop up to reduce the threat from fire. So won't say that it's ever zero risk, but that the risk has been significantly reduced, and we feel that the benefit of getting folks back into their homes is worth taking that little risk to get folks back there.
One other thing, so animals, maybe you had to leave, you didn't have time to get your animals. We're still using 911 for that. The county has that stood up, and they're able to take large animals, and they also have the ability to help locate your animal. And so call 911, that'll be coordinated through incident response here, and we'll try to get you the help that you want if you're concerned about your animal. I don't know, Sean, if you want to say anything else about that.
No, you covered it.
Any other questions?
Containment level on the fire, do we have an updated?
We don't have an updated number yet, sorry.
Put that on record.
We'll get that out as soon as we have a new containment number. Sorry.
Sheriff, you talked about within a couple of days, maybe having something up on the website that would show houses in that level 3 still, what's standing and what's not. Is that, where are we with that, if it's even possible?
Right, we had discussed yesterday, maybe getting an inventory of homes that we know have been lost, structures that we know have been lost. We're working on that right now. We're also working through our reported missing persons and trying to address those now. We're getting to a stage now where we have the manpower, we have the ability, the physical possibility exists to do that within the fire zone. So that's something we will be coming up with here shortly.
How many people are missing?
I don't know an exact number right now. We've heard reports as many as 24, but we've also heard reports as little as 2. So I know my folks, I know my intelligence group right now is working on 2. So.
No, and what I was going to say is Sheriff has some great people who just talked to me right before the meeting, so he's got a whole task force working on that, and they, from that 24, and they just started working this morning, they had that down to 1. And of those, the remaining, they were all accounted for and they were safe. So some really good news there from your team, and I just got that, so it's fun walking out.
Well, that is great news. I'm glad that they're
That's
communicating
good news.
effectively with the people who need that information. And I want to be very clear, that was just for the Grays Road fire. We're working on standing up that team and doing what we need to at the Oregon Road fire soon. So.
All right.
Thank you guys.
Thanks for coming out, guys. Really appreciate it.
I like when you have the intel drop on.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a good hand.